The question is this: what to expect from those tariffs coming up in 2 days, really? And how is that going to impact the autos? Well, it's all going to depend, but it's all going to depend how much production you have in the US versus none in the US. You know, for example, GM is 50-50. That's going to hurt. But don't forget, it's not just about the auto, it's about the suppliers. I mean, keep in mind that cars like GM and Ford and the automakers, they don't make everything, right? They put it together, but they don't make the seat that you're sitting on and the belt and the screws. They don't do everything, right? They're not vertically integrated. They're more like horizontally, meaning that there's a huge aftermarket, there's huge aftermarket manufacturers, which is key. So they do a lot of different things. But the point is, that's why it's very difficult and almost impossible to predict what's going to happen. You're going to predict when you're going to see it. At this point, if you want to predict what's going on with the autos, you probably just guess. It's probably as best as it is, because first of all, you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what the administration is going to do, and you don't know yourself how the cars are made. And only a true specialist, but no one can be a specialist of everything in every single car. So it's almost impossible to guess what's going to happen. But what we are hearing, it's going to be, we're going to see 5 to 10% increase in cars. So that's going to cost more money, and that's probably going to put a damper on economics activity, because maybe we don't want to buy and pay that much, and well, at some point you're going to have to buy a car. So that's going to be an impact. But we're also looking at between 100,000 new jobs to up to 1 million new jobs. When you look at the automakers, is probably 100, and when you look at all the aftermarket, because if you bring everything into the US, we're talking jobs. We're talking more jobs in the US. Cars are going to be more expensive, but now you have more jobs in the US coming in. So everybody has more jobs, there's more money, so we could spend more. So there's growth, and that's kind of the idea. It doesn't mean that's how it's going to work. We're trying to make a huge omelet here, and we are going to have to break a few eggs. And the eggs that we're going to break are essentially, well, inflation is going to go up because it's going to cost more. But hold on, yeah, that's bad. But then inflation goes up because there's growth. So inflation is not always bad. It depends how much inflation. The only concern is that there's talk about the consumer being lost in the process. That's another egg that we're breaking. Now, if we break that egg and the consumer doesn't spend that much, and then we have potentially a recession. Now, if you have a recession and an inflation, these are two eggs that you do not want to break at the same time, because then you have stagflation, which is exactly what happened in the 70s. In fact, if I were to show you a curve, you will see that we went up like this with rates, and rates went down a little bit, but then inflation went back up, and then we had to raise rates to break it down, break the back of the inflation, and we put ourselves in the 80s into a recession. So this whole environment is fraught. It's fraught with concern, uncertainty with the automakers. Now, why do we care so much about the autos? Well, because after a house, a car is probably the most expensive items you're going to buy. So that's it employs a lot of people. So you don't want to lose that industry. And frankly, it's extremely complicated to understand what's happening in there, for the simple reason is that no one understands A, what's going to happen, because it's based on B, what the decisions are going to be made. Even today, you could see the administration as of March 31st is discussing as to what they think is going to happen. So that is problematic. But if it works out in the end, millions of jobs coming to the US, a little bit higher inflation, a little bit higher car, but everybody is able to purchase the car, maybe in the end it would work out. But will it?